Hello, my name is Jim Downs. I'm a field specialist in forestry for Ohio State University Extension, and today I am at Seacrest Arboretum, which is located on the Worcester campus of Ohio State University College of Food, Agricultural, and Environmental Sciences. Today I am going to be introducing Dawn Redwood, which genus is Metasequoia, meaning sequoia-like. So it is the closest relative to the giant sequoias, which grow out in California, in the mountains there, which are the largest trees on planet Earth based on volume, as well as the coastal redwoods, which are the tallest trees on the planet, which also grow along the coast of California and up into the southern parts of the coast of Oregon. Dawn redwood is actually native to China, and it was brought over as an ornamental tree. It is actually a fairly obscure tree up until around 1948, where we believe that this tree only existed in fossil records. We actually can find fossil records of this tree fairly commonly throughout parts of the Pacific Northwest. Actually, I've had the opportunity to find both fossilized leaves of Dawn redwood as well as fossilized cones from Dawn redwood from spending some time out in Montana. So this tree is known as a living fossil because for many years we thought this tree only existed as a fossil, and that is until it was discovered by a botanist in 1948 who ended up describing this tree and sending seeds of this tree essentially all around the world. One of those places that those seeds were sent was to the Ohio State University, and we helped spread those seeds around the country. And actually the stand that I am in right now was actually planted in 1953. So it was planted a few years after the first seeds arrived here in the United States. Dawn redwood is a very tall, straight tree, but it does tend to have a lot of branches on it, especially where it is exposed to sunlight. In areas on the tree that are exposed to less sunlight, it will do a decent job of self-pruning. One of the interesting things about this tree is if you look at the bark, usually you will see deep grooves or deep indentations within the bark of this tree, or actually within the wood of this tree, underneath areas where you have branches. The bark itself tends to be very streaky and somewhat flaky, somewhat of a reddish brown color to it. The wood itself is actually fairly soft and brittle and doesn't make a very good lumber tree. The needles of Dawn redwood will fall off every fall, so this is a deciduous conifer, similar to that of larch or bald cypress, which are trees that can be found around Ohio. The needles themselves will be flattened and two-ranked. They are fairly soft and not very pointed at all. They will be a lightish green color during the growing season, and during the fall, as I mentioned, they will turn colors and fall off the tree, normally turning somewhat of a rusty to bronze color. The twigs of bald cypress are going to have small reddish brown buds that are slightly pointed, and the twigs will have this streaky, very flaky bark as well. The twigs are fairly thin, where the fruit of this tree is a small cone about the size of an olive, and it will have a fairly large stem attached to the top of it. The seeds that are contained within these cones are a winged seed. They're very small, flattened seeds, maybe a little bit larger than the size of a BB, but they do spread very well in the wind. This tree is fairly commonly ornamentally planted because it can handle compacted soils fairly well. Naturally, where it grows, it tends to like to grow in moist, well-drained soils. Another interesting feature to Dawn redwood is the base of the tree. The root flares are very fluted and extend away from the base of the tree more than most other trees around here in the United States. This is most likely an adaptation of the tree to try to grow and stand more firmly in areas that are saturated with water. With that, thank you for watching and have a great day.